Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another super cool radio interview. I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got two great guests joining me at this time. I'm very excited to have them on the podcast. On April 26th, Thrower released their debut album entitled Blink. Plus, they recently wrapped up a tour with Drowning Pool, Saliva, and Above Snakes. Please welcome from Thrower, Clay and Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Good to be here.
Of course. Awesome to see you guys again. I know we met at the Indianapolis show earlier this month, so awesome to have you, or I should say, sorry, in May, I should say. So it's awesome to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
And before we get too far, so Isaac is the lead vocalist for Thrower, and Clay is the bassist for Thrower. So before we dive into the tour and the album, so how did the current lineup for Thrower come together?
Well, actually, it kind of was put together mainly by Cole, the lead guitarist. And he knew Clay, he knew August, and August kind of knew Clay, right?
Right.
We both knew Jake, the drummer, but he's the one who reached out to him. But yeah, that's kind of he's the one who kind of put it sort of together. But yeah.
So, Clay, for you, so when you were, talking about joining the band Thrower, did you have any reservations? Were you excited? How did you feel about joining Thrower?
Well, so me and August had been in bands with each other for a couple years, and then he went off to New York to work for the summer. And I knew Cole through August, and I kind of tried to put something together for the summer just to jam and stay sharp and everything. And it wasn't Thrower, obviously, but then later on that summer, Cole was like, "Hey, check this stuff out." Isaac had the album recorded, and he was like, "You want to try to be a part of this?" And I was like, "Absolutely, dude." So I was all in, yeah, no reservation.
Yeah, and I remember whenever Cole was originally "Look, these guys are great and stuff," but he had told me they had been in a country band. And I was like, I don't want country, I don't want a country band. I was worried that the country influence would come out. But it turns out that they also actually loved all the same stuff that I do, plus some more. And so it really did work out. And we meshed perfectly and got some really great chemistry for sure, I think.
Oh, no, definitely for sure. I'm glad Thrower turned out the style that you guys currently have instead of country music. I don't know how well that would have worked out.
Yeah.
But it does kind of lead me to the brand new album Blink is your guys' debut album. So how was it writing and recording the album?
So, the first song on the record, Reach, is the oldest one. It all started way back years ago, when me and Cole were actually in high school, and that was when he first made that riff, and we kind of had a little band trying to get going, but it didn't work out. But we wrote that song and recorded a demo, and years later, we get back together and yeah, and so it was pretty interesting because it changed for the better for sure, that song, just over the years. And yeah, one of these days I'll have to release the original demo or something. Doesn't sound as good.
Cole wants that. Cole's always trolling with the original demo.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest change for Reach, when you first wrote it to now the song that is on Blink?
So in terms of like song structure, the chorus is quite different. The verse is pretty much the same along with the pre-chorus, but yeah, the chorus, instead of in the latest version of the album, it ends with the open up a new lane and go down. But in the original version, it actually did that part twice. It would be like cries and streams on the same, open up a new lane and go down, and then it did it again. And then what we did, we just kind of rearranged that. And then also the guitar part was a lot different for the chorus as well. The bridge part for Reach currently was in the chorus, and so we just kind of like moved it around.
All right. Well, it sounds awesome. It's actually my favorite song off Blink.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I believe you guys performed that one live, correct?
Oh yeah, that was always our first song that we play.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Opener, I feel. A lot of energy, and it's a lot of fun to do.
Oh no, definitely, for sure. As I said, it's my favorite, and I remember I was talking to you about the song when I saw you in Indianapolis. So it's definitely my favorite off of it. But I'm curious because also when we were talking about in Indianapolis, that you had the opportunity to work with Bobby Amaru from Saliva
Yes.
on this album Blink. So like, how was that experience?
It was really cool. Bobby's a great he's a great guy. He's really nice and just really talented. He's just the most like talented dude out there, and he really helped make this album sound phenomenal and like just helped me on things that maybe I was kind of like unsure on and stuff. Like he may like here and there like a lyric be like, what about this? Like be like, you know what, yeah, that's a great idea. And he was just awesome to work with, really.
Bobby, I've had the opportunity to interview him and meet him. He is such a wonderful person. He is, him and all of Saliva as well. Awesome people and just extremely talented musicians as well.
Definitely. Oh yeah, and in fact, they left Clay a little present at our last show.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. They, the guitarists, when we were playing in Nebraska, ran up and put some soup on me and Cole's amps. And just like some cans of soup that were open. So afterwards, I had to toast. Luckily, I got the good soup, like some chicken noodle. And I was like, shout out Saliva for the delicious soup, and was drinking it. And Cole, though, they put like a nasty soup, like some kind of cream corn or something. And he was looking at me like, fuck.
Knocked it over too.
So he had to do it too, obviously, to not be a wimp. But
He didn't actually.
Well, I'm glad. Joke around, have fun, always cool. Soup. Wait, I assume it was cold too.
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't. They didn't heat it up for me or spice it. What?
Could have used a little bit of pepper in there, probably too.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, that does kind of lead me where I was going to go next, which was the tour you guys just wrapped up recently. That was with Drowning Pool, Saliva, and Above Snakes. I saw you guys live in Indianapolis. As I said, it was a phenomenal show. All four bands delivered a fantastic show. I really enjoyed your guys' set, and that's kind of what led to this interview here because of how much I just enjoyed rocking out and hanging out with you guys. So how was the tour?
It was a blast. It was so much fun. Super cool to get to know those guys and just watch them rip every night. Yeah, love that.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, got to hang out with some really cool people. We got really we got to hang out with Above Snakes a lot. They were cool. Bam was a lot of fun to hang out with just all those guys, and Drowning Pool and Saliva too. Yeah. There's a few stories like the soup and like trying to think of some other ones, but yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure.
Like, what was like the biggest thing you guys learned through like touring with those bands on that tour?
How to bring it every single night. I mean, there's no off night for those bands.
No, yeah, they brought a great show like every night, and so just like seeing them play pretty much every night, like it really made me be able to be like, okay, like this is what I could do in terms of like some of the stuff that they do, like as frontman, like Bobby and Ryan and Johnny. Like it's kind of like seeing, I was like, okay, you know, like always, they just always brought it. So yeah.
I've seen Drowning Pool and Saliva before, and they always deliver a fantastic show. And it was my first time seeing, obviously, you guys and Above Snakes, but all those bands there, you guys brought it. And honestly, that venue, haven't been at the Vogue before, but it was a really cool place. Like I really enjoyed just that kind of atmosphere and just the whole like stage and all that. It looked really good.
Yeah, we actually really liked that place. It was a really cool vibe for sure. The stage and everything. Totally.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I really enjoyed it because they had like the part of a balcony too, so I was able to take photos like up there and by the stage. So it was an awesome place. And I know for me personally, I hope for you guys as well, the security and staff were amazing there. And I know sometimes I go to venues and they kind of hassle me about stuff. With the Vogue, they were incredible and so accommodating.
Yeah, no, yeah. I didn't have any issues with them at all. They were all really nice and helpful. And yeah.
We got to see they're opening like a club underneath it. Have you seen any of that?
Really?
No, I did not hear about that.
Did you go down there, Isaac?
No, did you?
Yeah. I was down there.
I was busy at the merch stand. Where were you?
He was at the club. Where were you? But no, I did not hear about that. But I'm sure it was probably really cool because that just the whole venue and everything was really cool. So
yeah, definitely.
But I did want to talk about in your set, you guys, and on the album as well, you guys did an amazing cover of Don't Fear the Reaper, which you guys have your own kind of spin on it. So how did that come about?
Well, whenever the album was kind of being recorded, Bobby suggested, he's like, you know, it would be really cool if you did like a cover of something. And so we started talking about like covers that we could do. And there were a few. One of them was that we were like maybe going to do. One of them was Living on the Edge by Aerosmith. That would have been interesting, right? And the Twilight Zone.
Love Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Yeah, maybe we might have to do that one for sure. It's like a really cool song. But yeah, I want to look back on text and see who brought the idea up first. I think it was Bobby, but it could have been me. I think I may have suggested it, but I was like, Don't Fear the Reaper, you know, it's just like such a classic and cool song and just kind of haunting, and you know, it was really cool to do a spin on it because I've known that song and loved that song for such a long time.
And so, like, obviously going through and like recording it and performing live, as I said, you guys you changed it up a little bit to put your own style on it. So, like, how was that process to like put the own like thrower spin on Don't Fear the Reaper?
Yeah, you know, slowing it down definitely like changed the vibe a lot. You know, I think that's fundamentally the biggest change about the song itself. Just it's so much slower. but I feel like it allows you to kind of take in just the vibe of the song and just really hear everything. But yeah, because like you don't, whenever you're doing a take on a song, I feel like you gotta add something to it in your own. If you're covering a song, like a recording of a cover, if you're covering it live, I mean, it's like a little different, but especially like a recording, you don't want to just give people the same song, you don't, at least not exactly. And so you want to put your own spin on it. So we took out that bridge, and a few of my friends were like pissed off at me for taking out that bridge. They're like, ding, 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 ding. And I actually love that part too, but it just, with the slowed tempo, if we added all that, it would have been like a 7-minute song. But yeah.
Oh no, I got you. And yeah, I noticed that kind of, those little differences in, obviously your versions definitely slowed down quite a bit from the original, but I really like it. And again, as you said, going along with that, it's something different that like you can, distinguish yourself. That's not just you guys perform the song as originally recorded.
Yeah. But it's fun to play. Clay does the harmonies on that song, and he kills it every time.
It's a good time for sure.
he always I know you always want to do that song because like you're the harmony song. Mm-hmm. So some of the other guys are like, oh, let's do this song. He's like, that's my song.
Most played song. I don't know. Better not cut it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
So, will we see a cover of Twilight Zone in the future by Thrower?
I think there's a possibility for sure.
At least like YouTube or something, huh?
Yeah.
Something of the sort. We'll see.
Okay. I think you guys will do an awesome job with it, so hopefully that happens in the future at some point.
Yeah.
But as we're starting to close this out, I'm curious for you guys, so what is your favorite song for both of you to perform live?
You want to go first, Clay? Yeah.
Well, I love to sing the harmonies on Don't Fear the Reaper, but I also love playing the bass line for Desert Sun. It's a really fun song to noodle around on. Yeah, I think it's a great time, that song.
Oh, yeah. It's a good song. It's a lot of fun to play that one. For me, there's like two, Reach, I feel like I enjoy probably the most, along with probably Eye for an Eye. Those are the two. Reach, I don't know what it is, but I can just nail that song like every time pretty much. And I just feel so much energy when I do that one. Kind of a similar thing with Eye for an Eye too. Just got a lot of energy, and just playing that live like really is a lot of fun because you can really get into it. And yeah.
Eye for an Eye, definitely for me too.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. That's like, yeah, that song gets me going.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That is a good one. And, again, just with you guys' live set, you bring a lot of energy to the stage as well. And even though, like, even some slower songs like Don't Fear the Reaper, you guys still brought a lot of energy, and it sounded really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But now, as we're starting to close out this interview, so we're already in June. So, like, what is the rest of the plans for Thrower for the rest of 2024?
Well, we've got some dates with Tommy Vexed in Texas. I think 4 or 5 dates in Texas in July. Plus, we're going to be playing around, just our little southern area, like Houston, probably Baton Rouge, Louisiana, around this area. We're in talks of, writing and recording an EP. So that's probably what's going to be next in terms of music. But nothing's set in stone yet. Yeah. hopefully we will go back out on tour in the spring with Saliva or another one of those bands. Hopefully in the future. I think that's definitely a possibility as well.
Well, very nice. So I look forward to hearing more new music from you guys, and hopefully I get to catch you at a show sometime because I had a great time hanging out with you guys. So hopefully I get to do that as well.
Yeah, no, loved meeting you. It was great hanging out for sure. It's really cool that you came to that show and and caught our set.
Anytime I go to a show, like I was pressed for that show, I always try to catch all the bands because you never know like who you're going to meet and what new bands I'm going to discover. So I always try to catch the opening bands. I know some people just like to show up for the headliners.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be there all night because then you get to catch awesome bands like you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So, and now before we close out, where are the best places to find a Thrower online for everybody watching or listening?
Throwerofficial.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
Got all of our stuff on there.
Well, right on. I will drop that link in the description of this podcast. Please check out and support Thrower. Blink available on all the streaming platforms. They got physical copies as well. And make sure to see Thrower at a show if they're coming to an area near you. But for Clay and Isaac of Thrower, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.